Distinguished guests and colleagues, thank you for coming to this exciting new partnership opportunity for us. Uh, First off, let me thank the Lee Career Center staff. Really appreciate all you all do day in and day out, and the students. Because without you all, we wouldn't be able to have events like this and do things. So it's really important that we, recognize students for things like this as well. It is a very busy day scheduled today. As you all can see, we've had a lot of traffic in the hallways, in the classrooms, but that's great. It's good to see a lot of activity going on. I think I would be worried more if nobody was in the hallways, personally. So, we're going on, the students come by and kind of see what in the classroom, kind of give them an idea of what they would like to do in classes that they would like to take. So, and yesterday we had the advisory council meeting. A couple of you were here yesterday. Thank you for your attendance with that yesterday. And next week's Thanksgiving. So I know me personally, I'm looking forward to sliding down a big boat. Year. The program has really grown since the first year that I was here, and it's set up a lot differently. We just moved to a block scheduling, which has been a very interesting challenge for us, but it seems to be working very well with the classes. Especially my classes. My classes ended up having just a little more and that has really helped the students to be able to understand and grasp the concepts and the material that we go over. So I'm pretty thankful for block scheduling personally. We do 4 big competitions. Information technology essentials. And that is a Cisco Networking Academy program. We do Cisco Networking 1, 2, 3, and 4. Along with those classes, I coach 5 different Cyber Patriot teams. I'm a Skills USA member. We do the RU Secure, that's the Radford University's hacking competition, and we also do Cisco NetRiders, and I'll talk a little bit about those in just a minute. But I do want to talk about the students and the accomplishment. I don't think you can really measure or an educator by what their students do on a daily basis, or even just by the competitions and things that they. Zach Hammonds. Zach was a first-year computer repair student in his 10th grade year. We went to the Skills USA competition, and he won for the state of Virginia. So that's just an outstanding accomplishment for a first-year computer repair student, especially being that young. Okay, most of the time. Most of the time, you see people in those different categories. They're seniors, or maybe sometimes even juniors. But to be a sophomore, that's just an amazing accomplishment. And he was able to do that because of some of the special programs, these side programs like Cyber Patriot. and RU Secure. And now this new program we're going to be doing with the Virginia Star. So without those things, we can't have accomplishments like that for our students. And I just wanted to reiterate that we need to keep allowing them to do that, to give those students the opportunities to do those things. You know, my favorite saying is, if you give the students the tools to build something, okay, they're going to build it. Okay, they're going to build a computer, they're going to build a car, they're going to build just anything that you allow them the opportunities to build. So with that being said as my introduction, I would like to just kind of quickly go around the room and have each one of you kind of tell us who you are and kind of what.
My name's Jim Hank.
What you do here, sorry.
Teacher.
The Education Foundation for Prince William County Public Schools.
Hi everyone, I'm a state coordinator for Virginia Star, work in Prince William County Public Schools in Northern Virginia.
Thomas Walker.
Ron Lane, I'm Assistant Superintendent.
Renee Clark, Principal at Lee High School.
Tom Murphy, I'm the Chief of Safety and Innovation at White Rock Trust and Executive Director of a nonprofit.
I'm Donna Locke, I'm with Powell Valley News.
I'm Larry Holbrook, I'm the mayor of Lee.
Jill Graham, Lee County IT.
City New New York City.
I'm Cheyenne Cochran. I'm in computer repair and networking one.
Zachary Hammonds, computer repair and networking one.
Chrissy Lee.
Shannon Grable, co-principal at Lee Career Center.
Ron Bales, drafting CAD instructor.
Todd Hines, business, marketing, and ag fire systems.
Derek Grable, auto technology.
Criminal justice here at Thomas Walker High School.
Beth Shell, agriculture education through personal.
Martha Davis, I teach horticulture and small animal care.
Welcome everyone, Mark Long and Principal Career Center.
And I'm Mr. Price, I got you.
Okay, thank you all for being here. I just want to do a quick introduction. Some of you all haven't seen me before, and I haven't seen some of you, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody kind of knew everybody else. Now to talk about Virginia Star program itself, I have Chuck Drake. He's the Virginia Star. That's the Virginia Student and Training and Refurbishment Program. He's going to come up for a moment and talk about his program, and then you'll introduce Sharon.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
We'll go up together.
Okay, so we're going to come up together, and this is Sharon Henry. She's the Spark Foundation Director. That's student.
Training.
No, the Spark.
Oh,
Spark is the.
Supporting partnerships with resources for kids.
Okay, great, excellent. Thank you all.
You're welcome. Thanks, sir. Sharon's passed out a couple of brochures. You can see a little bit. We're glad to be here. We came up came down, I should say, if north is up. From Northern Virginia. It's a long drive. I didn't know how far away you guys were. I've always wondered about the shape of Virginia, and I've always looked at that neck of the woods down there and go, wow, that's a long ways away. And we just drove it. In a van full of computers, and I'll tell you a quick story here.
Oh, yeah.
So we've done this for years and years. We've been doing Virginia Star for 7 or 8 years. I've been educator for 35, but anyway, I've driven all over the state and into New York and into Maryland and all over the place. West Virginia, you name it. We've been all over the state with that van. It is our mobile office, mine particularly. And I cram it full of stuff and I take it places and make people happy for the most part. Happier now than they used to be because the equipment's a lot better and it's more important. So anyway, never had an accident. Well, I did run into someone one time, but that's minor. But never had any computers really, have an issue with packing. Kids are kids. They do all the work. They're my workforce, and sometimes they don't pack things quite the way they should. But today's and this week's laptops, there's about 150 or 60 in there. Could be more. You
We're
guys-
not sure.
We're not sure. Well, just like
A lot.
put a lot in there. And they're really good machines, by the way. Anyway, stacked beautifully in a FEMA pallet. A FEMA pallet has corrugated cardboard. It's 3/4 of an inch. It locks in 6 different spots down into a metal bottom of a 4x4 pallet. And that baby sits in there, it's strong as an ox. And those kids loaded that thing in. I had computers in boxes. It's the best packing we've ever done. They did. And I was so pleased because we were driving a long way. Well, right up on top of the hill here, we had grandma driving in front of me. And I gotta tell you what, I mean, it's one of these people, you're looking over the wheel, you don't see the head. You see the rim of the wheel, but you don't see the head. And I'm in a van looking down. Here I thought it was a remote control car. Anyway, the light is green. She hits the brakes. Anticipation of a yellow light. Anyway, and I'm not far behind her because it's green. We're going through. I can see the high school. Hit the brakes as hard as I've ever hit in any vehicle in my life. And I should have taken a picture of the inside of the van anyway.
Yeah, topsy-turvy would be it.
That pallet, it ripped the metal clip-ons off the pallet. Every single one of those laptops, and these are big bad boys here. These are not small laptops. These are FEMA machines. These are big, gigantic Dells. Super expensive on the market. i5 processors, we're talking, this is more power that's in a space shuttle back in the day. Anyway, things came out of that thing and ran into the cage. My goodness.
And the cupcakes survived, I might add.
Yeah.
Strategically placed in the back, very well packed. So the cupcakes made it from Big Stone Gap, a place called Annie's, if you don't know it. Today and buy cupcakes for mostly the kids, but you're welcome to.
All handmade. So anyway, so Virginia Star. I guess I'll start with where it really started from. Back in the day, 2009, actually the end of 2008, the chief technology officer for the state of Virginia was Anish Chopra. He was a very progressive, very innovative leader, CTE and for other areas within the state. So he came up with the idea that there's a possibility that there's a lot of equipment coming off the state network through the Department of General Services, and he put out an RFP to say, why don't we give this equipment a second chance while having students work on it and make it live a little bit longer. It's like taking an old car and making it last longer, fixing up an old house. It's taking something that still has value and that can be given back to people. But most important is knowing how to work on this piece of machinery. It's not giving a person a fish, it's teaching them how to fish. So that mindset came from him. He came up with the idea of Virginia Star, student training and refurbishment. And we won the RFP, and we won a program with no money. So anyways, the program was, he would give us this equipment that came off out of Richmond, and that we would take this and we would have kids do something with it. What do we do? So I kind of taught the same kind of classes that Jonathan did years ago, and I said, well, why don't we try and work on this equipment? See how bad it is, see what needs to be done. And this is back in the day with CRT monitors, these big, huge boxes, were gigantic. But the nice thing about them, it's like the old cars, you can get in there and really work on them. And there wasn't a lot of high tech in there, 7 or 10 years ago, compared to today. So the program grew from there. Then we brought in Sharon Henry and Spark Foundation, because as we got more equipment in and people started to take notice of what we were doing, and we entered into competitions, and we talked to our local politicians, we went to our local community, we went to our town managers, we went to the community, which is huge, and said, please give us, we're training kids that are going to come work for you. And once that took hold, the equipment came in. The problem is,
That can't happen. You all know, we don't want to bring computers into your schools that aren't on your inventory. So they have to be gifted to a not-for-profit, and then that not-for-profit became which is Spark, the Virginia Star program really expanded, as you can imagine, the amount of in-kind contributions that our organization was able to receive. Currently, it's about $1 million a year. And I'm talking about donated computers. And we give it the baseline thrift value. And this is something that has grown so much since 2009 or 2008 when this really got started and really took a foothold. So the donors now have a place to donate the computers to. And that's what they want. They want that write-off, or they want to show their leadership. We're giving this to a not-for-profit who is then usable equipment for the community. So it's it's gotten the attention of quite a few of our leaders. And really, it's a good thing for us to be able to say that to the donor, that your donation is taxed.
Yeah, so that was a big part of us because a lot of school divisions, and I don't know how yours works down here, but in many around the state, it's not easy to donate something to the school because then all of a sudden you have a bean count and you have someone who's accountable for it, and if it breaks, who's going to fix it? ITRT is going to go nuts. Well, this doesn't meet our specs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So everything comes into the Spark Foundation and through under Virginia Star. There is only accountability, and that's the beauty of this. So he's protected by our umbrella. And that made a gigantic change in both the funding aspect, because the school division, Prince William County, can't give Lee County money. Are you kidding me? But the Spark Foundation can. So this was gigantic. And we get the money from the state of Virginia. We lobby them for $300,000 a year. And this year we're out of money. We're at a goose egg at the end of the year. And we're starting over from scratch because we've grown so much. It may or may not happen. This may die in the vine, and it may be a local thing for a while until we can make it happen in Richmond. We've been successful so far, but you never know.
Every year, it's our job to go to Richmond, and we have taken in the past some of the Virginia Star coordinators, like Jonathan, to actually lobby the delegates and the senators who make the decisions about how the General Assembly is going to spend the money, taxpayers' money. So knowing that we did invite the senator from this area today to be with us, but unfortunately he could not make it. He did talk to us yesterday, or his assistant, his legislative aide, spoke to us yesterday on the phone and said he was sorry he can't be here. His wife broke her foot, so stuff happens when you're making plans, right? Mr. Day likes to say. The value, I want to just focus on this just for a little bit. The value is there's in-kind contributions being made here to your school today, and I'll go over what those are and what that value is. But the biggest thing that this does is give students in Jonathan's class the opportunity to work on computers that they didn't have before. They weren't here. And as you touch your local community and reach out to folks, yesterday we had a group of business leaders in this room that we spoke to. But the notion is that if you know people in the community have computers, or and here again, we don't, this operation doesn't want junk. These are good computers. These are good, usable computers. So don't just say, I've got 5 sitting in my garage. But we probably don't want those. Those are not what kids need to be. It's good for them to see the guts of it, but those aren't usable computers that can be given away. So with our donation today to this school, I'm guessing, I'm lowballing it at about 100 computers and 100 Microsoft licenses and a $1,500 check that we're going to give to you. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that. That the donation comes to almost $25,000. So we're really happy to be able to bring to this community that amount of resources. And I will tell you that we have tried to sell this program along this, what I'll call the Southwest Corridor of Virginia. Smith, Life, there were some other communities that Mr. Drake went to with one of the
Franklin, Floyd.
A gal out of the Secretary of Ed's office at the Commonwealth level. They didn't want it. They flat out said, we don't have jobs here. Why do we need this? And that broke my heart. I mean, that to me was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever heard of. And why aren't you thinking about these children's future? let's create this and see what happens. And that's the vision that Mr. Grimes had. He didn't say, the situation here is many different than life. It's no different. But he said, bring it on. I want this for my kids. So this is the champion in the room. This is the guy that we really need it. And I think that the money that we're giving the school, $1,500, there aren't any strings attached, really. You guys make it what you want to do. And with that.
Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, so kind of to conclude a little bit, we're in 77 school divisions or 77 schools around the state of Virginia. 45 or so school divisions. You guys make number 46, I do. So it's somewhere in there. So this is a big one for us. But I'm really super impressed with the people I've met so far. Sharon and I go all over the place. So we have seen probably more school divisions than anyone in DOE in the state of Virginia, anyone in your school division, I guarantee it, and anyone in our school division. Because you're in your place. You can't have the time to go to all these little, we're all over the place. Not everywhere, but almost a half of every school
There's
division.
a little map in there that shows you where we exist in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
So we talk to school board members, local politicians, teachers. We see it a lot. I mean, a ton. And I can tell you right now, there is a certain energy down here. There's a certain leadership that I see. There's staff, there's students. I'm impressed. So I just want to let you know that. I'm not just saying that because I'm in front of you guys for the first time, maybe the last time, but it's a true statement. This is, you can tell by the principals, you can tell by the APs, you can tell because that filters on in and around. Superintendents, of course, are very important, but it really is boots on the ground and the kids. And if you don't get the support from your leadership team, then you're in big trouble. And you guys have the support from your leadership team, so that's gigantic. So with that being said, real quickly about the machine, and then I think we're pretty much done, unless you have some questions. These came from FEMA. It's always nice to have a little story here, other than almost dying. So these boxes are positioned around the United States, and they were in Puerto Rico. Not too long ago, because they were ready to go in case there was an emergency. A fire, an earthquake, or a flood, or maybe a tornado or something like that happens on smaller scales. Big scale stuff is what FEMA takes care of. And that's what they're scrambling around the nation right now because we've got a lot of problems this year. Weather's been not our fair weather friend this year. Houston got crushed. Florida got beat up. Northern California got scorched. And Puerto Rico we don't know what's going on. So anyway, FEMA's been scrambling like crazy to make this happen and to rebuild their structures. These are where these machines came from. So they rarely get used. When emergencies come.
You just a few of them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Cheers. Do they get any food? No, it's not. Do we run it?
I'll give you that thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, please do. Machines. These have not been used much, and on the open market, they're very expensive. So when the kids are done with these and what you decide to do as a community, and Jonathan and your troops decide what to do, there's at least 100 for this facility, and which is one of the biggest donations we've ever given to a school division. And there's a little bit of work to do on them, but and there's going to be a few that are not operational, but we gave you enough to fix, patch, and it worked. So anyway, I appreciate the offer and the opportunity to be with you guys and to help you grow your community.
Did you have a question? I know.
I did.
Okay.
Now that he's kind of got this started, is this a one-shot deal, or is this something once these computers have been refurbished and repurposed?
Great question.
Does he get another shot?
Great question. So that all depends on a couple of things. One is the local community where you live. you're not gonna get 500 machines from this community. No, it's not happening. We barely get from ours. So if the process continues like we hope to, from FEMA and so on, it took 7 years to build that relationship. And we got 1,000, and then we got 2,000. So right now, I have a warehouse, it's called a 30, it's the size of this building right here, it's my warehouse. It's about 30 foot, maybe not quite 30 foot. It's close. So I have pallets of these, I have one. Next year, I don't know. I try and keep things for school divisions that are really on it, and there are some around the state that are really on it. That pedal is to the floor, and they are just one hungry machine, one hungry animal that just absolutely absorbs equipment and spits it out into the community so fast I can't keep track of it. I don't know how this will go here. So I wouldn't say that I could come down in a month again, it's a little far, but so long as,
I'll come up here.
but I'll come up, look. I'll pay his way to come up if he wants to drive a vehicle.
So you're talking about next.
Does that help your question?
Yeah, next school year, 2 years, I didn't know if it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
If you all could provide more,
Yes.
or if it's shifted to local donations only.
No.
Kickstart,
So
so.
we realize the communities that we give to, some are self-sufficient, Fairfax is now self-sufficient. They have their own.
Virginia Beach is some, the
Yeah.
bigger ones. You guys aren't like that, so we
No.
realize that. But knowing that two things are in play here. The donations of computers that we get, that's the first thing. And the second thing is the money to administer the program. Because we don't, obviously we have to pay Mr. Drake to do this throughout the state of Virginia. So that's why we need the funding. You guys are the mouthpieces that need to go to your delegates and your senators and let them know that this is an important thing to the vitality of this community. And yes, ma'am.
This may be for Mr. Grimes. How long is this going to take? Is this the project for this?
I'll talk about our plan. I can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what we're looking at doing here, we have computer repair 2 that starts in the spring. Okay, those students have learned everything about the parts and pieces of how to put computers together and what makes them work and all that stuff. And then computer repair 2 is more like they're hands-on, they're just gonna be doing that. So in the spring, I'll have 20 students in that classroom that are gonna be working on those projects as well as other. We're gonna work on members of the community. If you all have projects that need people to work on and attention to, things like that, we'll go around the school and help various places in the school. And we have the processes in place for those, but it won't start until spring. Until spring semester, so January, right around.
Do you think that the spring semester is 100 complete or completely refurbished or repaired?
It's a process. So on the refurbishment process, so each laptop, for example, most school divisions can't keep if they turn over equipment, they can't keep they can't leave the memory and the hard drive in. Okay, so most of the time what's going to happen, the people that are donating them are going to take the hard drive and the case that hard drive is in from the laptop, and then the memory from the laptop, and then the rest is what we get. Okay, or what we receive as a donation. So the basic, what we would have to purchase and buy for every laptop would be that case and the hard drive and the memory. So we've got to go through that process of ordering that. Of course, it's a lot easier to order in bulk, than it is like if Zach Hammonds were to work on one computer and then I'd go buy, order the parts of that to put it in and then get it out to the community. So we're going to look at about 30. I think we'll do about 30 laptops before we have a ceremony to give those out, to the community. Was that? Okay.
That's a great question. So knowing that, every machine we got from FEMA, it's government. So do you think it has a hard drive in it? No, seriously, do you think it has a hard drive?
Yes.
The 2,000 machines I got from FEMA, did one of them have a hard drive in it?
Probably.
No,
No?
not one. It's government. They have to be right 100%. So they take it out, they put it in the bin and grind them. Gone. I saw the light. I saw pallets of iPads. Pallets. Pallets, wall to wall, double pallets high, double pallets with shiny, gleaming white iPads. 2s and 3s, version 3s. I think we're only at 4 now, right? Thousands of iPads. Said, what about those over there? And he goes, no, they're all gone. So where are they going? The shredder. Because you can't pull the equipment out of an Apple and you can't break the code to change the. So millions, not thousands, millions being shredded because they cannot have the wrong data to fall into some hand. So that's why every single, now for Jonathan, I think I gave you, Jonathan, some caddies for these.
They're brown.
Every single one of these babies has RAM in it,
So they
at least
have-
4
they have-
gig.
yeah.
So they got some good RAM in them. Some of them will have 8, like a box of chocolates. You're not gonna know until you open the case up on this thing. Most of the batteries will be good. The infrastructure of this is pretty solid. I also gave him at least, I think, about 80 or so hard drives. So, you got a good start on this. You'll have to get the screws for it and caddies. Plastic caddies, $3. Hard drive is 20. The screw that goes in the back of this is 25 cents per screw. And you need 4, but I do it with 1. But you know what? The United States of America does not make the screws that go into the back of this case. I had to get them from England. So, if you guys want to make a little extra cash down here, you have a really small bait, and if you can turn out some screws, you can sell them nationwide. They don't have. Anyway, that's kind of there's a lot of neat little things that go on in doing this work. Finally, to be part of Virginia Star, which you guys are now officially when we do the check deal, is that in order to do that, Jonathan has to make his kids very uncomfortable. And you do that by putting them in front of families or adults. You have to decide as a team, and your kids should have input in that as well, but you guys decide, your leadership decides, where you're gonna donate about 25 to 30 in one big event. You can hand these out all day long, you can do whatever you want, you can put them on your school network. We don't dictate that to you, okay? These are definitely robust enough to fill any lab in this building. But for one event, you have to have an evening computer giveaway, we call it Bridging the Gap. So you select an organization in your community, you select your own students, it doesn't matter, but it has to be 25 to 30 at one time in the evening. You have to feed people and the kids have to run. And you have to invite everyone and their grandmother to that event. Your local politician, your superintendent, everybody, and those kids have to be uncomfortable, they gotta plan it, they have to dress up, they have to train the families on this. Okay, that's the deal. If you don't do that, we're not gonna do that next year. And then there's a really small little report at the end of the year. That's it. So, thank you, Jonathan, for taking this on.
That was good. Well, thank you for having us.
So I don't know who you want to do the first.
Okay, so if I can have Zach and Cheyenne please come up to the front of the room, guys. This Zach Hammond, I've already made mention of, and then of course Cheyenne Cochran. They are both currently, actually Zach was in computer repair 1 last year. So because of the block schedule, he's on a delay going into computer repair 2, but they're both in first year computer repair and networking programs. So if what I wanted to do was have them involved, because this is for them. This isn't for me. It's not something that it's going to put a little notch in my belt or something like that. This is all for them. So I asked that Mr. Drake present the laptop and the check to Cheyenne and Zach. Here, I got it.
And we need your, we need boss man here as well, so, and we have central office folks here as well. You're good? Okay, so I need to be, I don't want to be in the middle, you guys are the big chiefs here.
I love the thankful fact. You love a check.
We do love the check.
Take that.
Diane, you're almost lost.
Give me a second, Ian, you should have your
Can we get one more, Donna? Can we get one more? Just want to present the laptop to them in the same ceremonious. Can you get this to Cheyenne out, Zachary?
You want to check?
I would like to, I would like to mention though, notice this says certified clean, so it did every time they turn something in. So, it did at least go through its process.
Getting close?
Close.
It's okay. Relax.
Three, come on. You got that community dinner, it's hanging over your head.
Well, she knows how to make you feel good, doesn't she?
Thank you all. I do want to keep you all just for a couple more minutes. I want to show you some of the stuff that the students have done. I've got a brief commercial for you to watch, and then some examples of different things that they're going to be doing dealing with this program specifically.
John, I just had a quick question.
Yes,
Do you have a process on the back end for families?
I do, and we'll talk about that. After this informational session, then we're going to go to the classroom and talk about breakdowns of the specifics. But I'll give you an example of each one of those. I think I have most of them on the screen. The first thing I'd like to play for you is the video. If we could play the...
Let's go entire.
This video was made by a foreign exchange student we have, Diego Barago. I believe he's from Madrid, Spain. It was just an extracurricular thing he did during my class time and on his own One goal I have for my classroom is to have people not be afraid to break something. Anytime I talk with students, they're always afraid they're going to break a computer. That's why they don't want to fix it. But I also find that most people don't want to be a mechanic. They don't want to try to fix things on their cars. They're scared they're going to break it. But they will change their oil. So if I can just get students to feel comfortable enough to do basic maintenance tasks like installing and updating their antivirus, upgrading their RAM, the memory, upgrading their hard drives and things like that, to get them to be as comfortable as they are changing their oil, then I'll feel like I've done my job.
I'm in Cisco Networking Academy. I'm taking computer repair. It's a fun class. We do virtual machines, hands-on things. We take tests, packet tracers, things like that. There's a networking class. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in computer repair, there's 1, 2. The second part is 2 blocks. It's It's a fun class. Teacher's really good. You learn a lot of things. And the good thing about the tests and quizzes are, if after you get wrong, like if you don't make 100 or something, you can retake it. It'll let you study, go over it again. There's a lot of job opportunities for networking and computer repair. You can take them both as dual credit and it counts as a college credit. The good thing about taking computer repair is you learn how to work on computers and things. So if you have a computer at your house and it messes up, you can fix it yourself instead of having to hire someone to make it. And you can fix your friends' computers, maybe your neighbors, things like that. And it's just a good thing to know, a good skill to learn.
Cisco Networking Academy is the industry standard for computer repair, computer networking, and security. Technology evolves on a daily basis. If you're not using the latest and greatest, then students who finish the classes are already behind other students entering the workforce. I also find it's easy for students to read, learn, and take quizzes and tests. And it's also easy to grade those quizzes and tests.
I guess the class is kind of just, we can learn how to build and repair computers, and that can help us with a future job. And for people who, like, it kind of teaches not to be afraid of working on a computer, because people think that they may break something, but this class teaches you that it's okay to experiment with them, and that can lead to having a future job in the field.
I coach 5 Cyber Patriot teams. These teams compete globally about computer security type skills and the operating systems and the networks. USA advisor, and those students compete first at the regional level, then at the state, and then possibly even the national level about things we learned in the classroom.
I'm in Cisco Computer Repair. We take apart computers visually and physically. I really enjoy the class, and I'm thinking I'm going to be doing something with computer repair in the future. We also install graphics card and video cards and things like that, motherboards and things like that. CPUs, processors, it's pretty fun. I enjoy it.
We are a Microsoft, CompTIA, and Cisco Academy. We try to offer students certifications in those areas so that they can put that on their resume, showing they have what it takes. Wish Diego could have been here today so we could thank him for such a great job on that video. Last couple of things I want to talk about. I know we've run over time a little bit, but you all keep hearing about Cisco NetAcad. I'm going to skip around just a little bit. Zach, is that okay? You keep hearing this about Cisco NetAcad, and I wanted to show you an example of that. So if we could just pull up the Get Connected course, okay, and just click Start Course, be fine. This Cisco NetAcad, in any of those is fine. This is a basic course that any user could take. It's not one of the more advanced courses we teach. But I just kind of wanted to show you the layout and the feel of it. The students just log on to here and kind of go through different modules, and it's very user friendly. So that's why I wanted you all to at least be able to see that Cisco Networking Academy, and then the industry credentials. What we're looking for this class, for this program, we're looking at 2 different industry credentials. They're both from CompTIA, the IT Fundamentals. CompTIA IT Fundamentals is the basic user certification that would be at entry level for an entry level job. And the reason we look at that is, of course, cost. So we can get a 100 user site license that's valid for over a year period for about $1,500. So that would cover the majority of students, and we could use it, we could break it down between 2 school years. And then the CompTIA A+, of course, it's about $200 a piece, and you have to take 2 and pass both. So that's $400
Desktop or desktop?
$400 per student. That's difficult to manage sometimes. Again, I mentioned when Ms. Locke asked us about the what our plan was for those machines. I think we went over that enough. I'm not going to move into that more, but I will tell you that with Mountain Empire Community College, we are doing a very similar program. And what we were gearing it towards is an evening course here in Lee County, and maybe partnering up with a program some of you may have heard of called Plugged In. I don't know if you all, okay, so the Plugged In program, of course, this would fit very well in with the Plugged In program because of that industry credentialing that it requires for their graduations and things. So, and the last thing that I want to hit on is that our event will be about, we're looking at March, April timeframe, depending on what else is going on in the area. And I know that's a long time away from here. If we can possibly get it done any sooner, we will. But anytime we schedule something big like that with the weather in this area, it's very difficult to not have snow delays and weather type of issues. So we're looking more at, like I said, in the March, April timeframe for them. Do I have any questions of me, the program, or anything else before I release you? Okay, great. Thank you all for your attendance here today. I can't tell you how much it means to me personally. It's been a long road and a lot of work that has been put into it. Chuck Drake again and Sharon Henry. Thank you for the long drive down here. And I hope you've enjoyed our area. There's a lot. It is a lot different. The atmosphere. The atmosphere is just a lot different no matter where you go, whether it be Walmart or Huddle House. It is different than anywhere you would ever go. But again, thank you, Mr. Gray and Mr. Long, for all your help to put this together. If everybody would like to go ahead and have something to eat, something to drink, we'll take maybe a 10-minute break. So we'll take a 10-minute